it won't be rocket science to you that in order to grow your business, you need leads and you need to close those leads into clients, right? So if you're a service provider, let's say you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a small agency owner, chances are very likely that you have, in the beginning, you get clients through referrals, word of mouth, perhaps some partnerships. But at some point, you might run into this issue where your pipeline runs empty. Like the referrals are they're warm leads because people know that person, but it's very unpredictable. The same with word of mouth, the same with like any partnerships, right? So in order for you to grow your business, or at least let's say this, in order to get consistent revenue coming in month by month, so you can have less anxiety and more peace of mind because knowing that you can pay rent next month, you will need a system, you will need a way to consistently get clients, right? And if you've been following my content for a while, you know, of course, that I speak a lot, perhaps mainly about LinkedIn. And the reason why that is that for coaches, consultants, or small agency owners, I very much believe it's the number one channel to generate high ticket leads and close high ticket clients. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the 3-step process in order for you to go from an empty pipeline to booking more calls, to selling more deals, to closing more clients. So the first thing that you want to do is, I talk a lot about this, is that you want to have content to pre-qualify. You want to use content to send the signal out into the world. Like, see it as fishing. Like if you go fishing, you want to put bait on the rod, and that is content, right? So with your content, you want to speak to the desires, the pain points, the obstacles, like all these things that your client have. You want to talk about the problem you solve, and you want to solve about how you want to talk about how you do it, right? So that's step number one. Secondly, and this is where most people then go wrong, is that they think they need to sell in the content, where 2025, you don't want to sell in your content on LinkedIn anymore. The main goal of content is to start conversations. So the second step here in terms of like reviving and just building this pipeline is to talk to the people that engaged with your content. Like I said, the bait on your rod is to get signal. So whenever someone likes your content, they comment on your content, they check out your profile as a result of seeing your content, they send you a connection request, or they follow you, like these 5 triggers are super important for you to follow up on. And that's not something I would say, again, it's not rocket science. Like these people that have shown some form of interest, some form of intent in what you do, you need to reach out to them, because the days that the leads just come to you and just basically like hand you their money are kind of limited, right? So you want to take an active approach, an active stance in reaching out to these people, starting the conversation, figuring out where they're at in their journey, figuring out if you can help them solve the problem they have, if they have a budget, if they have the urgency right now, and book them on a call. And again, this might sound a little bit abstract, but I will talk about that in a different video. By the way, if you need any help setting up this process, check out the video in the description where I break down the full system. It's a 40-minute video. And if that's of any interest, make sure to watch that after this video, of course. But conversations is, of course, important. And then the last part, the third step in this process, is where you have the conversions, right? So whereas conversations are good to just gauge this interest, conversions, of course, where we book people on a call and close them into clients. And that might sound a little bit abstract here, but let me unpack that for a second. So I think one of the main reasons why people struggle to build a pipeline on LinkedIn is because, first of all, they sell in their content, so their content does not perform. Or in the conversation phase is that they don't start the conversations because they expect people to come to them, or they don't know what to say, so they either not say anything or they mess it up. And the third one is that they go too much in like chit chat, right? So all these things we don't want to do. Then in the conversion part is where we want to book people on a call without any friction. So in the second phase, when you talk to people and you figure out, okay, they have a problem I can help them solve, they need some help right now, like they're looking for some help, book them on a call. Like, don't overcomplicate things. Like, book them on a call straight away. Like, you don't want to have too much friction at that stage in time. Like, you don't want to interrogate people in terms of like, hey, business revenue X, Y, and Z. What you want to do in the third phase, and this is why I think people struggle with like building a pipeline on LinkedIn, is that I spend a lot of time talking to the wrong people. So in this third phase of conversions, what you want to do is like the moment someone has booked a call, you want to first send them information about your offer, your program, your service. So that's one, so people become knowledgeable and they understand what you have to offer. The other thing is that where someone have just booked a call, then you want to start qualification. So you want to have some form like a form where you just understand, okay, where is this person currently at? How much money do they make? Where they are in the business? What challenges do they have? What goals do they have? Have they tried something before? Etc. etc. So you want to have a few things that help you understand, okay, if the person that I'm trying to speak to, am I able to help them, right? So those three things, those like the content, the conversations, and the conversions, it becomes a very simple process, a very simple system for you to build a pipeline on LinkedIn consistently. Like I said in the beginning of this video, you don't want to rely too much on like referrals or word of mouth, or perhaps you're paying for like advertisement, like paid ads these days. Again, the moment you stop paying, you stop getting leads, right? So again, I can't emphasize and stress this enough, but if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're a small business owner, or running a small agency, you do want to have a consistent and predictable way of getting clients. And I argue that LinkedIn is still, it's what is it? It's June 2025 right now. It is still the number one platform for those people. So what you want to do, like I said, content, conversations, and conversions. And if you need any help with this whole system, make sure to hit the link in the description below. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, guys.